Hello. You probably don't know what just happened. Well, don't worry, because me too. Okay, so today we're going to be learning about file handling in C++. If you want to follow with me, go ahead and open any IDE you want as long as it supports C++11, because that's what we're going to need to run today's program. Okay, let's begin with you copying these into your program. Okay, now why do you need to copy these? Because these are essential to making your program run. Why? I'll show you why in this beautiful diagram. Whoa, what's this? If you don't already know, the I/O stream contains the input and output of a program, right? Here we have the C in, the C out, and all that jazz. So whenever you're writing a C++ program, it's a good rule of thumb to always include the I/O stream. Okay, now next up we have the IF stream and the OF stream. Why are these relevant? Because these are what allow us to read and write to a program. That is why we have the F stream, because the F stream already contains both of these. Okay, next we have the vector. Why do we need a vector? Because it works the same way as an array, but it can handle more dynamic data instead of a fixed size of an array. Okay, so we're gonna need that for today. And then finally we have the using namespace standard. Basically allows us to access the standard C++ library. Makes our programming journey a lot easier. Okay, so let's begin. Integer main, and inside the body, boom, we have our first two lines of code. What do these mean? I'll show you in the comments right there. It says handles files. How? Okay, so let's begin with the OF stream. See this? Why did we write OF stream? Because we are basically telling this entire program that whatever data we put inside it, we're gonna output it into a folder. Whoa. Okay, so after the OF stream we need to have a variable. So so what do you name it? Anything you want. So I'm gonna name mine data. You can name it again. You can name it whatever you want. You can name it sauce. You can name it chili, chicken. I don't care. And then after that, we're gonna open it with a parentheses. Okay. And in this parentheses, we're gonna put where we want the data to be stored. Okay. I'm gonna put mine in student names.txt. Similar to the variable, it can be whatever you want, and it can be any app too, not just a text file, but it has to be a text editor for it to be able to read whatever the program is sending it. So therefore I'm going to do a text file right now to make things easier for me in this discussion, and boom, there we go. Let's close that. All right, next, what do we have here? We have the vector. The vector is going to have a subtype of which is a string. I'm gonna put string in the subtype, and after that we're gonna put names. Okay, now I'll show you. Now you can, again, similar to previous, this can be whatever you want. I'll show you where it comes into play in our code later. Now let's move on from that and go to this. What does this say? It says range loop. What does that mean? It means that the code here will loop into our vector. Okay, and then the names it finds, it will yeet that, it will send that into our file, into our text file. Okay, so how does it do that? I'll show you how. For, you see that for? The for, and we're gonna have a string name, colon name. Okay, boom, close that. And then next to that, we have this. This is what's important, data, right? Remember this? Data, and then the name, and then endl. Okay, so basically that's the entire range loop program. And so we're gonna close it. This is not actually necessary. I just wanna write it because it's a good practice. Anyways, I know you're asking the one thing: how do I write the names? How do I put it on the notepad? I'll show you how. Because here, names that push. Remember when I said we're gonna use this? Here's where we're gonna use this. We're gonna assign this names that pushback, and then inside the parentheses, we're gonna have a double quotation marks to whatever name we want to put it. I'm gonna put my name inside. Okay, so boom, there we go. Save that. We're gonna save it into a folder here. Okay. Now here's a cool thing I want to show you. In this folder, you see that there's nothing in there. There's literally nothing except for the C++ program. I'll show you what happens when I run. Boom. Let's run it. Let's check. Oh, what's this? There's no magic here, folks. Yes, a text file magically appeared. But how? science, computers, programming, whatever you want to call it. But here, you see, whenever you write to a program and the file where it's supposed to send the data isn't available, it's gonna make that file for you. Okay, so that's why we have that. Boom. And let's say I want to put another name in it. Okay, change that. Boom. Save. Run. Check it out. Oh, there it is again. But what's this? My old name disappeared. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. It overrid the file because we haven't given it instructions not to yet. How do we give it instructions? Let's go back to the code. Alright, so the code here. You see this? This needs a little more salt and a little more pepper and a little more flavoring. We have to put a comma, okay? And we have to put iOS double colon, and then we have to instruct it to append the data. Okay? Say it with me, append. Muy bien. So, what does that mean? We have APP. This means that we're telling the program, hey dude, when we have a new thing, when we have to write a new thing, input a new thing, don't override whatever stored in a text file. Just add next to it, okay? You understand? We cool? We cool. Alright. So now, let's do another name here. Boom. Save. Bring it there. See, open the notepad. Oh, there it is. There's 2 names now. Woo! Alright, that's just half of our problem. Now we need to read the file. Don't worry. Stay with me now. It's super duper simple. It's basically this. It's just this. Okay, we're just going to copy paste a lot of these. So, open up a new C++ file. Boom, there we go. Copy that. Boom, boom. Alright, what did I say? Now, here's a difference you might notice. Instead of OF stream, we have an IF stream. Now, why is that? Because we're basically telling the program, hey dude, get the file and input it back into you so that we can display it on your console. Okay? So there we go. That's why it's an IF stream. Copy that, copy the vector, except this time we'll add a string name. Okay? Now we're gonna use that for later in our loops, which you're gonna see right after. So while, now we have the while, right? Inside the while, we're gonna put data name. This data basically works like a cin at this point. Okay, so now we're gonna do that, close it, and then we're gonna put the names that push back, then the name again. Ooh, okay. So why is this important? Because it works with our for loop here in the bottom. Now the for loop is basically the same with earlier, except the difference is instead of a cout here, we have, instead of a data here, we have a cout here. There we go. So what does this is, instead of displaying it on the notepad and saving it on the notepad, it's going to display it on the console instead, whatever data is given to it by this. Okay, so now we have that. Boom, let's run it. Oh, there we go. There's my name. Well, hold on, what's this? They're separated in different rows. Why is my name and then my last name in different rows? Because of this. Remember how I told you when it works like a CIN, like a CIN? Yeah, it can't read a string like a full string. It's just gonna avoid the white spaces and then just make a new row and then read that. Okay, so how do we fix that? Let's erase half of this code. Okay, let's erase almost everything off it. Okay, now we have the IF stream. Okay, we have this, and then here's the kicker. We're gonna have the while, and then we're gonna have the get line, and then here we're gonna make the data work like another cin again, except the get line is gonna allow us to actually get the entire string. So get line name, boom, data name, boom. Okay, now you don't need the for loop anymore. You just need to do the cout. Alright, it's gonna display it there, and boom, you got it. That's it. Alright. Okay, so that was honestly all you need to know for the basics of file handling in C++. If you want to end the video now, feel free to do so. But I just want to fix the code up a little bit, because I don't want to have to open my C++ program and then look for the specific line of code just so I can switch that. No, what's the point? What's the point of the program? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here, my little comment that this is just a scope. Now in the scope, I'm gonna put string and name. Okay, now what's that gonna do? It's gonna do for here when I put a little comment for user input. Now here I'm gonna put a C out. I'm gonna let the console tell me that I'm supposed to input a name. Boom, right there, line break. And under there, I'm not gonna do CIN because I need to get the whole string, not just one word. So I'm gonna go with get line, and then I'm gonna put CIN. So CIN, and then here is where this scope comes in, because without this I can't put this. So I'm gonna put name and boom, close that. So that's gonna allow us to input. Now how do we register that to our code here? Well, we just go to this names dot pushback, and then instead of actually writing the names itself here, we're just gonna put name, which corresponds to this, and then whenever you input a name, it's gonna register here. It's gonna throw that there, and yeah, that's basically it. So here is it. Here I'm gonna show you how it runs. Boom, there you go. That's a lot easier. So yeah.